Welcome to the Spittin Hedge betting talk hosted by Competitive Hedge Podcast and Spittin Picklets. This is our second official episode of the show, and we're all about hockey and hockey betting. We chat about some hockey headlines before highlighting some of the hockey cappers in the Twitter space and finishing it off with our show parlay of picks. Now, I am Kenneth Cotterill, the host of the Competitive Hedge Podcast, and I am joined by my co-host, Tyson Cole. First of all, Happy New Year, buddy, and how are you doing today?
Happy New Year to you too, buddy. I took a little break from betting towards the end of December, but beginning of January has just been awesome for us, and we're ready to keep it rolling.
Sounds good, man. What did you get up to for New Year's?
Oh, no good, as usual. How about yourself?
I'll be honest, I had a really quiet night in, but it's mostly because I have a wife and what do I need to go out on New Year's for? So we kind of just stayed in. We've been crushing Yellowstone. So
nice.
That's been the big show for us.
Yeah, I would have pegged you as the kind of guy that would, start drinking at like 3:00 and then pass out by like 7:30. Miss New Year.
Well, I still started drinking at 3, but I was just watching TV. Like that, if anything, I think that just shows that I never quit. So yeah. Showing that true grit over the New Year's season. But as I said, we talk about hockey, a couple hockey headlines before we bring on some of the great cappers that we have in the Twitter space to give some of their plays. Got to get the ticker going at the bottom as well, because that'll help. We got the games that are going to be played tonight in the bottom, as well as we've already had a couple early games. Devils squeaked it out in OT, came back in that game. And then we've got Columbus up on Carolina. Pretty surprising result there. So we're going to start with our own personal teams, because you know what? It's our show and we'll talk about whatever we goddamn please. So let's start with how Spittin's Canucks are playing.
I don't want to talk about them, bro. There's nothing good to talk about. There's so much drama going around with the team. Like, when's Horvat getting traded? Is Bezer getting traded? When's Demko coming back? JT Miller doesn't play defense, blah, 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 blah. There's nothing good to say. We're not going to make the playoffs. We're too good to be close to getting Bedard or a top 5 pick. There's just nothing good going on in the Canucks organization unless Aquilini ends up selling the team.
So are you wanting Demko to come back? Because I think Martin's actually been pretty good this year.
Okay, so I thought that too, but then I watched him, and he's a bigger piece of Swiss cheese than Thatcher Demko is. And Demko's a solid goalie, man. I could see him winning the Vezina in a couple years if we turn ship around, but Martin's not that good. Last year, he had one really, really good game against the Florida Panthers where he allowed 1 goal, and they were just on fire at the time. But other than that, he gets all the goal support where Demko gets no goal support at all.
That's fair. I mean, the one thing about Vancouver this year, because I don't watch a lot of Canucks games, usually they're on the West Coast, and I hate staying up late to watch bad hockey, but they've been good on the overs this year, and I think that's mostly due to how bad you guys are, because they're 22-15-1 on the overs this year, so can't really complain too much about them.
One good defender, Quinn Hughes. You ever heard of him?
Yeah, I have heard of Quinn Hughes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, good. My shitty ass team. Let's hear about your shitty ass team.
I mean, I don't think we're shitty. I don't think that we're good, but I mean, recently we've been bad. We've only won 3 out of our last 10. Overall, it's sad that Larkin leads us in points, because I like Larkin, but he shouldn't be a team's leading scorer in any aspect of the game. So the pleasant surprise for me has been goaltending, because Husso coming in, I was high on Nedeljkovic when we signed him last year. I was super excited.
Are you happy with trading a 3rd-round pick for him now?
No, looking back on it now, it's been tragic, but when I looked at it at the time, I'm like, I've been watching Jimmy Howard in goal for many years. We didn't exactly have a carousel of goaltenders coming through our system. So, yeah, the Mrazek situation as well. So when we brought in Nedeljkovic, I was like, oh, he looked great with Carolina. This is going to be great for us. And then, that obviously didn't work out. Now he's not even getting backup duties with Detroit. So when we brought in Husso, I was less high because of what happened with Nedeljkovic. He's been solid for us. I like some of our off-season moves, but we're not a playoff team. We're getting a little bit closer, but the East is so loaded right now. I just need some of these old teams to kind of filter out before I'll feel better about Detroit. But that's where I'm at. I take it you don't watch many Detroit games either, given where we're at in the standings.
Hey, I watch enough shitty games with the Canucks. I don't need to watch shitty games with Detroit. One thing I wanted to ask you about is, what do you think about this Mo Seider kind of slide? Like he was unreal last year, and now he's just not producing as well as he did.
I think it's just a bit of a second year slump. I think he's going to snap out of it next year. I don't think that he's had a ton. There's not a ton of talent around him. Let's face it. When we're getting excited about signing Andrew Kopp, we're not in a great spot. So
Yeah,
I think that we're going to be better moving forward. It's just this is the rebuild. We knew that it was coming for a long time. When you make the playoffs for 25 straight years, then I'm okay with missing the playoffs for a couple of years, given all the success that I've seen in my lifetime. But
for sure.
Detroit fans are impatient as well. That's going to happen with any fan base. You go through even 3 years of downs, and it's been much longer than that for Detroit. Then people are going to be pretty upset. But you had a couple of future bets that you wanted to chat about. So what are those ones that you have right now that you wanted to get off your chest?
Okay, I'm quite proud of these ones. I only did 2, and they're both looking great. So at the beginning of the year, everyone that followed Spittin' Picklets has known that I love Matty Beniers. He's one of my favorite players in the whole league. And last year, he played 10 games in the NHL. I bet his point every single game, and he had points in 9 of the 10 games, and the books never realized he was always plus 100 every single time. So I cashed 9 out of 10 times at plus 100. It was awesome. And I figured there's no real rookie that's going to compete with him unless you have like Logan Thompson or Mason McTavish. And honestly, like at the beginning, Logan Thompson was kind of the leader because Vegas Golden Knights had this like crazy bounce back from last year when they were shit, and they lost Robin Lehner, who like that's their star goalie, and now you bring in this guy who played in Canada like university league, like he wasn't drafted or anything, and then he comes in the NHL and just steals the show. But I bet Matty Beniers to win the Calder plus 550. He's now plus 220, I believe. So we're getting good value. I gotta hire or double my money cash out on him right now, but I'm letting that ride. I think as long as Seattle, who's been a real surprise this season and how good they've been, I just think if they even make the playoffs, he's a shoo-in to win the Calder.
Yeah, I think the thing with Seattle this year is they've just been so good on the road as well. Especially we've seen that even recently with their win over Toronto the other night. That was huge for them. I still think that Thompson's going to take it home by year end. I'm hoping that I'm wrong. But he's been really solid for Vegas. I do like Vegas to win the West at plus 300. It's not something that I'll go and bet because a plus 300 future bet's just not something that I'm really wanting to dive into. But I do like Vegas quite a bit there.
Something I want to say in the futures market for the Calder. Logan Thompson was the favorite. I think 2 months into the season, he was plus 250, and then I think Beniers was plus 300. Now it's shifted. I'm looking at it now. Beniers is plus 200. Logan Thompson is plus 700. So he's lost a lot of value. And you know who's actually stepped up to plus 275 is Pyotr Kochetkov, the goalie for the Canes, which, like we just talked about with your Detroit Red Wings, we've seen a rookie goalie for the Canes shoot up. Maybe they trade him, and then he's shit again. So I'm liking that Beniers future that I got.
No, I like it as well. He'll probably get traded to Detroit when Husso has a second half slide, and then we'll just want to bring in another goaltender because that's been the carousel the last couple of years. But I do like that future for you. I do hope that it hits a plus 550 is always nice on a future bet.
With that. Sure. I got one more.
Okay, what's the other one?
That I did. I'm going to see what the current odds are now, but I placed it at the beginning of the year. I heard it on a podcast. So this isn't all me here, but I heard like McDavid's so good. He's so good. He just doesn't shoot enough, and he could win. Like he could win the Rocket Richard if he started trying and started actually shooting. So I heard that, and I was like, okay, I'll put a unit on it for him to win the Rocket Richard. I got that at plus 800, and he's leading. Let me see. Because he's leading by a lot. I was a little worried about Jason Robertson, and Tage Thompson, but he's got 33 goals on the year, 3 ahead of Tage Thompson. and his plus 800 has changed to, I actually don't even have the line for it anymore. But I have a cash out for 4 times the bet that I placed on him. So they have him at odds-on favorite to win. McDavid's a shooter now. He's just carrying the Oilers team. I love that too.
I do think that part of that too is Matthews just, I guess, having a down year by his standards for sure at just 19 so far. But I think
That's
he'll bounce
fine.
back second half of the year. I mean, I didn't expect Nylander to lead them in goals this year. I'll say that much. So
I
the
was just
fact
gonna
that
say he's not even the top on his team.
yeah, he's been sniping for sure. But we got a lot of games to get to for tonight. Not as many as you would kind of expect for a Saturday night. We obviously missed a couple early on. We talked about the Devils OT. We talked about Carolina, who's now tied with Columbus at 2-2 there.
Update: Pacioretty, second goal of the game, 3-2 Carolina.
Second Pacioretty goal. This is not the only discussion of a 2-goal game that we're going to have tonight on the show, because I did see a pick submitted earlier of a 2+ goal night. So we'll see whether that one cashes for the program. But we got St. Louis and Montreal. We got Minnesota, Buffalo, Seattle, Ottawa, and Toronto and Detroit as the early slated games. I definitely don't want to talk about Detroit when you've got them as Toronto's minus 340 tonight. That's never a good sign. So out of those first 4 games, which one are you looking at?
My favorite play of the day. I got it in my hat tricklets. If you haven't seen it, check out my Twitter. Toronto 3-way money line is my absolute favorite play of the day. They're 13-3-4 at home, whereas Detroit's 7-6-4 on the road. They both lost the last 2, but I love Toronto here. Coming into the game, they've won against Detroit in 8 straight matchups, and all of them have finished in regulation. And 17 of the last 20 matchups, Toronto's won. So my favorite play is the Leafs 3-way money line. Obviously, it's a little juiced. You can't play it. I got it at minus 160. It's now up to minus 200. So that's my favorite play. What's yours?
Well, so to touch on that game, I'm not surprised that people are going the Toronto route. I've seen a lot of Toronto puck line as well. In the last 10 head-to-head games with Detroit, they've outscored us by 2.4 goals per game. They've won 9 out of the last 10 head-to-head, which pains me because I chirped my dad for 20 years about Detroit, and it's laying on thick given the fact that we have that one win. We also had that game, I think it was last year, where it was like 9-8 or 10-7, just a ridiculous scoreline. And that was when I was out on Nedeljkovic, to clarify. That night I was like,
Marner both had 4 points in the game.
Okay, you don't need to keep laying it on. Like, I get it. It wasn't great, but I like St. Louis in regulation tonight. That's my favorite play. St. Louis, they're 5-1-1 on the road in their last 7 games. Montreal's only won 1 of their last 10. Binnington's also won 3 out of his last 4 starts. So I know that St. Louis on the money line is minus 165, so it is a little bit juiced. If you want to go maybe as the parlay piece, I think it's a good one, but I still like the in regulation tonight. I'm sure a lot of people will be on Montreal at home for the potential upset, but that's where I'm at with St. Louis. Now, the 3 late games tonight, we've got the Kings in Vegas. Vegas is minus 150. You got Colorado and Edmonton. The Oilers are minus 125. And then you got Boston minus 250 on the road versus San Jose. If I'm picking a game that I like out of all of these ones, I'm probably taking Vegas on the money line. They've won 7 of their last 10. They've won 2 of their last 3 road games. They've also won 6 out of the last 10 head-to-head against the Kings. So I think that it's a good spot for them. I have seen a lot of overplays as well. I know that it's gone over in 7 of the last 9 head-to-head games there. So that's where I'm at. What do you like for the late slate?
It's actually been, okay. Well, on my hat tricklets, I have over 5.5, and that's hitting 9 straight.
Oh,
so that's another parlay piece that I like. I do believe Vegas is actually at home.
Yep.
Tonight. I thought you said earlier they were on the road, but
that's just their road.
They have won. They have won 3 straight. Vegas, so they're the hotter team. They just got Jack Eichel back. I do love LA though. Like, I think those are 1 and 2 in the Pacific. Like, I'd like to say Edmonton, but they haven't been carrying their weight. Jack Campbell's been an absolute disaster. But yeah, my favorite play is in that same game, and that's the over 5.5.
Okay, I like it. Now, we've chatted about some hockey. Let's bring on some of our guest cappers who have some phenomenal plays for us here. We're also going to get the ticker going at the bottom as we go. And so I'm going to start over with a good buddy of mine from the Twitter space. I know he's a Bet99 guy as well, just like I am. I'm going to bring on Dusty Picks. Dusty, how you doing, buddy? Give us your favorite play of the day.
Not too bad, boys. What's going on? Leave my Oilers alone. Being a little rough on them.
I'm just chirping Jack Campbell. That's all. Stuart Skinner, a pleasant surprise.
And don't talk about poop teams. I've dealt with a poop team for a lot of years. So
only from like what 2008 till 2016.
It's been a while.
It's been a little bit, yeah.
Well, let's get right to my play, boys. My favorite play of the night comes in the Seattle and Senators game. I like Thomas Chabot over 2.5 shots. He's eclipsed that mark 7 of his last 10 games, 4 of his last 5. He's averaging 5 shots a game in his last 5 games and 5.3 shots a game in his last 10. And another thing that people really don't look at and consider is ice time. This guy's averaging like 28 minutes a game. This guy's on the ice half of the game. And like, I even love him for points too, like power play points or any point over, because the guy's on 24/7. He's always in the mix, always in the other team zone. He always has good value too.
I love the pick. Oh, Tyson's popping out. No, I think I was looking at his ice time as well. I couldn't believe that he's out there as often as he is. Always got to get the Chabot jersey out as well. Perfect. No, I do like that play quite a bit. When you sent it in to me, I thought that it was really good. And -110 is great value on it as well. Tyson, what do you think of it?
I absolutely love it. The guy's been a shot machine lately. He's hit 6 of the last 7. I love it. And you're like, I got -104 on the odds right now. Like,
that's nice.
That seems ridiculous for how often he's hitting. And like you said, he plays half the game. And it doesn't matter that Seattle's kind of a bad matchup for shots on goal to defensemen. But if you're playing half the game, there's no way you can't get 3.
Exactly. He's going to get chances.
Yeah.
And his shot attempts, like he's averaging 5 or 6 shot attempts a game. Like that's a big thing people don't look at either, is attempts. Like,
yeah, he went 6, 6, 6, and he hitting all those, and then 3, 3, and 7.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I love it. I was going to play that as a straight, so I really like that play as well.
All right.
All right. Love the value on it. Go follow him at Dusty Trout on Twitter. Dusty, appreciate you hopping on, buddy.
No, thanks for having me, boys. Anytime.
Thanks, buddy.
All righty. I love that Chabot play.
Oh, I'm playing it straight too.
That's something that I might put in like a player parlay piece tonight. I think that it's really good value given.
Well, we have to. He likes it. You like it. I like it.
I do think that the Seattle matchup worries me a little bit, but it's shots on goal. It's not points. I know that he was talking about points quite a bit as well, but I do think that there's a lot of value there. I'm bringing on a buddy of mine now. He's a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. Don't hold that against him. But I'm going to bring on just Luke now. Luke, how's it going, buddy?
What's up, fellas? How are you?
We're doing great, buddy. All right, what's your favorite play for today?
After I saw him the other day, Jack Eichel is back, and he's feeling good from that abdominal strain or abdominal injury he is coming back from. He looked great against the Penguins. He looked fast. He has a skate underneath him. Tonight, going against the powerhouse, 1 and 2 of the West right now with LA. Jack Eichel's got to turn it on for him. I feel plus 135 for him to score tonight. I think it's a gold mine.
I love it.
I love a good player goal scorer play. I know that obviously you get into the plus money when you start playing those, and then it's a bit more of a gamble. But we had one last week from Andrew. He gave us the Cole Caulfield goal at plus 220. So shout out to him for that great value play there. I think that this is a great one for tonight as well. I do like Eichel the way that he looked the other night. I did catch some highlights as well of that game. Obviously not tuned into as many Penguins games as you are, Luke, but I really love the value there. What did you think, Spittin?
Well, he's got 3 goals in his last 4, and that one that he missed, he got hurt in, so he didn't finish the game. So who would have known? Who would have known? He could have scored. Sorry about that. Had a glitch in the system, but yeah, I mean, I love it. His shot attempts are still pretty good. Like, I love it. I love the over in that game too. So any goal scorer, I like.
Yeah, I'm on Vegas as well. I think they're going to score 3 at minimum tonight, potentially 4 or 5. So yeah. I do like the value on the Eichel play there. Luke, we appreciate you hopping in. What's your Twitter handle again?
Yep, you can follow me at King of Hearts 82.
Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for hopping in the
All right.
stream.
Another thing is Eichel actually scored against the Kings already this season. So why not one more?
I really do like that.
I do too.
I don't know. I know that it would be just a 2-teamer, but I might want to parlay that with Shabbat. It's just like a little spicy play maybe to start out the day on the parlay front. But all right, we're going to head over to one of my favorite guys in the Twitter space. He is hilarious. I love his videos. He's a fellow Canuck as well, and I know that he's got some great stuff for us. So let's bring on Dakuchi Betts. How we doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, fellas. How you guys doing? Thanks for having me on. I'll get right to it. I won't waste any time. I'm on the Edmonton Oilers money line tonight. I'm not really happy about it, but this is just a numbers play. The Avalanche, I think they're starting to sound reason to sound the alarms. You know, Colorado's lost 5 in a row. McKinnon's really not looked the same self since he's been back. His shooting percentage has been down all year, and I think kind of the NHL has been spoiled by the Tampa Bay Lightning just being able to roll season after winning the Cup. I'm seeing a little bit of lack of interest for some of these guys. Kyle McCarr's not been as good over the past 2 weeks. We're in the dog days of the winter. I start to look at motivation a little bit more. This is a revenge spot after last year's playoff. So give me the Oilers. Give me McKinnon. Do not get a goal tonight. That's another player prop I like. It's obviously pretty juiced to the negative, but it's a parlay piece for me. So that's where I'm at tonight, fellas.
I really like it.
Hey, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I feel like you can get a little revenge factor after Colorado swept them last year. I don't think they've played this season since then. So
this is the first game.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, Avs have lost 5 in a row. If you look at their lines, they have the one good line with Lehkonen, McKinnon, and Rantanen, and then after that, half of them could be in the AHL. Like they got so many.
Been obviously ravaged by injuries all year, but it might just be kind of stacking up for the rest of the guys. They've had to play extra minutes. They seem to be slowing down a little bit. The bodies aren't back in the lineup. I think Nishukin's missing again tonight. He's got that knee issue he's been hobbled by. So, like I said, Oilers money line tonight. I'll grit my teeth a little bit. I don't love trusting this Oilers back end, but winning's winning. So hopefully they can get it done for me. For
sure, buddy. And they're home. So I like it a lot.
I mean, hearing some of those Oilers stats too of like 5-on-5 for them has just been tragic this year. I still like this play. I think that Colorado, they've lost 5 in a row, as you said, and they've gone under a lot recently. I think they've gone under in 7 of their last 10. And then the Oilers, they've gone over in 7. So I think we could have a goal fest from Edmonton. It's just whether or not Colorado is going to step up and do it the same. What do we got tonight? It's Skinner and is it Georgiev?
Yeah, Georgiev has been rough since Christmas time. I don't know if he had too much eggnog, but it's like a 3.9 goals against over the last 5. Obviously, he's not been getting much help, but it's just not looking good for the Avs. I'm starting to be a little bit concerned about their position in the Western Conference, if I'm being honest.
They're 4th in their division right now. Who would have thought that?
And what's weird is that Vegas still has them as the odds-on favorite to win the West, even with everything that's been going on with them. Earlier. I couldn't believe that they're still ahead of Vegas even right now with the way that Vegas has been playing. So hopefully someone throws some eggnogs in their skates as well tonight, so that way we can get an Oilers money line for you tonight. Dakuchi, thanks for following or hopping on as well, and we appreciate you, buddy.
Follow him, Dakuchi Betts on Twitter.
All right, so
hilarious videos.
Too much eggnog. I wasn't expecting that. That's a great play by him. So. What have we got so far? We got Edmonton Oilers money line, we got Eichel goal, and we got Shabbat shots. You talked about your favorite play for tonight was the over in Vegas, and then I'm on the Blues in regulation. We're going to bring on another guy who was on last week, OPM Investments. He was a part of the 4-teamer last week. He was one of the winning plays out of that one. Unfortunately, went 2-2 on that parlay.
Oh, my bad.
OPM Investments, how we doing, buddy? I love the palm tree in the background. It has me jealous up here in
Gotta
Canada.
show it. I see the hoodies. I'm like, man, can't relate. It's all hot down here.
You guys live in lavish.
Have to. You know what I mean? Gotta go for the Viking beard and the palm trees. It's the way to go. But
we're in the dog days of wintertime up here in Canada. Like if we're talking about like being a little bit of motivation getting out of bed sometimes up here in Canada can be rough. So what do you got for us today?
I'm going to take those Blues, the money line, mostly just because Montreal's in a 7-game losing streak and they still got some players out. I know. Oh,
No.
I know they've been having a little rough of a season, but
Nope,
I mean
you're good.
Montreal. But yeah, overall, I feel more confident with them more than most plays here I'm watching here tonight. So that's the main thing I'm really. And Montreal's second to last behind Columbus for the worst in the division. So, I mean, I'd be pretty pissed that can take it.
I do agree as well. I would be very mad if St. Louis does this again, because I know last week one of the favorite plays on here was St. Louis against Minnesota, and then they were unable to pull it out. So I do feel better about this. Obviously, Montreal is not Minnesota,
Right.
So I really hope that the Blues don't let me down once again. In fact, after
You
you
know what?
are done hopping on here, we have another Blues fan as well that's going to be hopping in. So
There you go.
I'm sure that he's hopeful that the Blues win tonight as well. But I do love that regulation play. I think it's a great parlay piece, especially or even straight up. I think it's got some value there. So go check him out.
Absolutely.
Investments OPM on Twitter. Really appreciate you hopping in, buddy.
Appreciate you both. Keep.
So I just want to touch on that. So Blues have won 2 in a row. As he said, Montreal's lost 7 in a row. Montreal's won 8-1 in their last 10. Absolutely brutal. The only thing that concerns me is Montreal actually plays St. Louis pretty well. They've won 4 of the last 5 against the Blues. And remember, last year weren't they the worst team in the league? Last year, they got the first overall
had
pick.
to have been down near the bottom at the very least.
Well, they got the first overall pick. I think they were the worst team in the league. So
fair.
But hey, every streak's meant to be broken. Go Blues.
Yeah, I'm not riding with the Montreal streak at any point unless it's on the losing side. So I feel good about it. Binnington's also won 3 of his last 4 starts. So I know that one of those wins was a 5-goal giving up outing, but he gave up, I think, 3 and 1 in those other ones. So he's been pretty solid for them, at least recently.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, the Blues lost O'Reilly and Tarasenko, but they haven't slowed down. Like, one of my favorite combos in the league is Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrou. They play on a line together. They're electric.
All right. So as I said, our next guest that we're bringing on is a St. Louis Blues fan. So he can tell us all about Kyrou, about Thomas, about whoever. That is Walker Bailey. Walker, how we doing, buddy?
I'm all right. It's fun, or it's interesting listening to y'all talk about it. It's been such a rough season to watch. Like, I haven't had any fun. None, like no fun at all. And like, good luck to you. I'm glad that you can put your money on that team. I'm not putting my money on that team.
You might just be too close to the situation. I mean, that's probably the biggest struggle for me doing the Monday to Friday show is anytime I see Detroit in a potential upset spot or even just favorites, I'm always tempted to put that in the show.
Yeah, when I saw you were like, it was like, oh, you're laying minus 165 with them on the road. Have a good one. Like, good luck. I wish you the best.
That's why I went regulation. I liked it that it was closer to even money, so I'm hopeful that we just get another like 6-2 or 6-3 that we've seen recently taking teams against Montreal in regulation. So what do you got for us, Walker?
Yeah, no, I texted you earlier today. I'm on Seattle's puck line plus 220. I guess they're in Ottawa. 1-3 straight. You mentioned earlier how well they function on the road. It's 1-1 head-to-head this year, and actually Ottawa won that first one in Ottawa. But if you go back and look, it was a 4-3 loss for Seattle in extra time in a game where they actually probably outplayed Ottawa and functioned more well. They were a plus 120 dog in that game, so we get some line functionality too here, all the way to like a minus 110 at most books. I kind of think that and both matches have been really high scoring too. Like I think you got a 6 and a 7. I think this is a match where, you know, Seattle's going to be able to score goals. I think they'll function better defensively than they have. I just think it's a matchup that suits them really well. They had the better chances in the loss and just kind of lost one of those fluky games that you lose in this stupid sport. And then they came back to Seattle on the replay and won 4-2 with relative ease. So I like them on the puck line here at plus 220 tonight. I showed significant value on the money line too, but I kind of was just itching for something a little bit longer shot.
I'm a little spicy.
Yeah, something a little bit spicy.
No, dude, I definitely like it.
I feel good about the spice, though. I think that you look at how they've played, even their last 3 wins, they've all been by 3 or more goals. So
well, and that's the other thing, too, is you get a team that's coming in that just is firing on all cylinders, and you avoid the back-to-back here. So you've got, you're not going to be coming in with tired legs where you get a potential spot where they just kind of come flat and then go back home. Mm-hmm. You've got a rested team. coming into play tonight off of 3 straight wins. They're really jiving, really playing well. I think it's a great spot.
Yeah, no, I agree. I love the Kraken this year as a Canucks fan. Like, kind of sucks because they're in division, but they've been absolutely rolling. Like Ken said earlier, and you said, like 11-4-2 on the road. They're much better on the road than they are at home, and yeah, I like it.
I'm really interested to see how Ottawa functions too, because they're on 3 days rest, and there is a weird complex to almost having too much time off in between games. Like the 3 days off, it's good for like getting rested and kind of getting healthy, but it is sometimes hard to get the skates back on and get back up and play at a really, really high level when you've had that much time off. And then you come in and you have a team that's really, really firing on all cylinders coming into your building, a team that you haven't just played particularly well historically. I think it's a high scoring game, and I think Seattle probably scores 4 or 5 here and gets out of there with a win.
Something I've noticed is actually like teams play a lot better when they have like 2 days rest. Like they play on a Thursday and then they play on a Saturday, so like 1 day rest. Sorry, I should say. They play a lot better on that than they do if they have the extra day, because they're kind of like out of funk, haven't played in a while. So
it's what we get here. We get Seattle on 1 day rest, but they also it was in Toronto, I believe, where they won 5-1 2 days ago. Exactly. So you're in Canada traveling, and then traveling to Ottawa with 1 day rest. You get Ottawa been off the skates for 3 days. I love the spot. I'll be locked in here.
I
went a full unit on it too.
Toronto team, which is way better than this Ottawa team. So why can't they do it tonight?
Also, 100%. Like the within Ontario travel is not even a major issue. Like I know that some people love they're traveling, but it's 4 hours. I mean, on a plane, they're up and down in 30 minutes. So I'm really not concerned about travel when you're going Toronto to Ottawa. Plus goaltending matchup here. You got Jones going up against Forsberg. I think it's a great spot as well. Jones 17-5-3 on the year. So go check out Walker on Twitter at WalkerBailey818.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, got it.
All right. Appreciate you hopping on, buddy.
Nope.
I like that he's going ballsier on Seattle with the puck line, because I think if I was going to play it, I would just play the puck line for the extra value. Maybe in regulation, even just to get that little bit of extra road value, but that's where I'm at with that game. We do have another guest to bring on as well. He goes by Firefighter Bets on Twitter. FF Bets, as it says at the bottom. How we doing, buddy?
My dog.
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can. What do you guys?
Hold on. Give me one. I'm sorry, I'm unprepared.
Nope, that's completely fair.
What's going on?
Look at those biceps. Maybe show them off.
What's up?
Look at those biceps, baby. Show them
relax. Oh, so what's the plan? I'm sorry. I'm very unprepared.
Right. Give us your favorite play for today. What's the value tonight on the ice?
Favorite pick, favorite prop, whatever you got.
Gotcha. My favorite prop tonight will be Michael Bunting over 2.5 shots on goal. I got it at plus 105. Let me bring up some stats for you really quick.
Okay.
Like I said, very unprepared.
Oh, you're good, man.
He has played Detroit 4 times since he's been in the league. I believe he has a point in every single game. If you look at his chart, his last 10 games, he has hit 6 out of the last 10. He missed last game against Seattle, unfortunately, but that's a tough matchup. Game before that, he had 5 shots on goal and 4 shots on goal. He faces Detroit today. They played yesterday. They're on a back-to-back. They give up a good amount of shots to right wing. I'm sure Spin can tell you where they rank in that category. But his volume has been great lately. I mean, he had 7 attempts last game and only had 1 shot on goal. Game before that, he had 8. So the past 10 games, he's been averaging about 6 shot attempts per game. So great matchup. Toronto's at home. They play really well at home. Detroit, they've been on some kind of downslope. So I'm looking for Bunting to bounce back after he missed last game at plus money.
So just to go back to what you were asking earlier, the Red Wings allow the 21st most shots to, I believe he plays left wing because Nylander's on the right, but that's not far off from the other wing. They allow the most shots to the wings rather than the center. But to go off his points, let me tell you, he had a goal in his first matchup, and then he got a hat trick his second matchup, and then he had 5 points in his third game, and then a point last game. So he's got 10 points his last 4. He's covered those shots in 3 out of 4. I absolutely love Bunting. You said this earlier this morning. We talked about it. That's an awesome play, and he's been absolutely rolling.
Definitely. I also sprinkled his goal at plus 220. His last 10 games, he has 8 goals his last 10 games. He also scored against Detroit 3 times last year. He missed this year, but the guy rolling, man. He's on the top line next to Matthews and Nylander. Should get a couple power plays as well. He should roll.
I mean, I hate saying that I like a play going up against Detroit, but that being said, I think if Detroit had any shred of having a chance tonight, Hellberg is going to have to make like 40 plus saves. So
Who?
Hellberg.
Yeah, that's in tonight.
Yeah, literally.
Tell me about it. Yeah, I'm not thrilled. Like that's how bad Nedeljkovic is that Hellberg is playing. So
I know.
Nedel's been terrible, man.
It's not ideal, but I do love the shots. I would sprinkle the goal as well. I think the plus 220 is great when we're talking about recent form against Detroit as well. So I really love those plays. What's your Twitter handle? Where can folks find you?
You can find me on Twitter at FirefighterBets. That's the only handle I have right now, only social media. But if you don't know, me and Spin run a Discord together. It's in both of our bios on Twitter at Better Ways, or you can also find me in at Smash Pros.
Appreciate you hopping on, man. Really do. Great pick.
Hey, appreciate it, fellas. Take it easy.
You too, brother.
Man, I hate saying that I like a player prop against my own team.
Anything against Detroit? Yeah.
I mean, it's tough, but we've already established how bad we are. So,
do you ever think like Detroit doesn't allow a lot of shots because they're always down in the game? So the other team isn't.
So the team's just taking laps to like kill time.
They're not in the offensive zone that much because they just go in.
They kind of just dump it in and then make line changes.
Around for 10 seconds, score a goal, then do the next play, and then the next play, and then maybe one more.
All right, that's enough about Detroit. So anyways, now if we're going to talk about a team that like we really hate, and it's a game that we didn't really touch on, it was that late one with Boston and San Jose. But if there's one thing that we know about Boston on this show.
I thought you were this worldly, sophisticated guy, but you're just a fraud.
We don't like them over here on this stream.
They screwed us last week.
They did screw us last week, which is crazy because I went back and looked. They've won 7 of their last 10, and their 3 losses were all in overtime or shootout. So even when they're losing tight games. San Jose, they've won just 3 of their last 10 as well. And Boston, head-to-head, they are averaging 1.7 more goals per game against San Jose.
They've won 9 straight against San Jose.
Yeah. So it's a good spot if you want to parlay a piece of Boston money line, Boston and Reg. I think it's pretty safe either way, but it's one that we didn't want to include. But it was a game that we didn't really touch on. Now, one guy that wanted to hop in, but he had to take off early was Boomtown Pod from last week. He gave us the Cole Caulfield goal. We even gave him the shots, which was great. He didn't get that Patty Kane goal, but that's all right. When you cash a plus 220 goal prop, then you're gonna have a good night regardless. So his play tonight, he gave us Leon Draisaitl 2 or more goals at plus 650.
Absolutely wild.
But here's the thing. So we have Dakuchi giving us Oilers money line. So I think if I was going to play it, I would play just Draisaitl for a single goal, but he was swinging for the fences with the 2 goal. I hope he cashes it because that would be huge for the program if he goes and gives us plus 650. But I haven't seen odds on Draisaitl to score tonight. Have you?
I haven't. And
so a goal for Dreiss is plus 120 on Bet99.
Something that I hate saying this, but he's due against Colorado. He hasn't scored in 6 straight against Colorado.
So we're saying that he's not due enough, or at least Andrew is saying that he's not due enough where he's going to score 2+ goals tonight. I hope that it hits at the plus 650. I don't know if that's going to be a parlay piece because it's a parlay in itself. It's a parlay just for a single play. But so that's what we have for you on the pick side. Now we have to come up with a couple plays here. I think we go 3-teamer on either side. We obviously have a smaller slate to pick from than last week. So I would feel good about taking a Draisaitl just regular goal.
Cool. I can do that.
Now, if he feels confident in 2, if we play the 1, we still get the plus money there. Now, we also had the Chabot play, which I think we really liked. So I'm going to go and find his shot prop there. What do we like for the third one here?
Well, I have an idea right now. I know we usually do 3 or 4, but why don't we do a goal scorer parlay, a shots parlay, and then a money line parlay?
Okay,
just of the 2, because we got Eichel and we got Draisaitl.
Okay, so I'll pull up that one for those 2 together as a 2-teamer.
Yeah,
as Eichel and Dreiss. Ooh, the Eichel single goal is plus 180 on my book too.
Ooh,
that's really nice. Plus 516.
That's pretty good for 2 goals.
Okay, so I'm just writing all these down as we go. So parlay wise, we have Eichel and Dreiss.
Yeah,
that gives us a play at plus 516. Then we have Chabot shots.
Yeah. And then I say we just do Bunting shots, just do the 2 because they're plus. I don't know about Chabot, but I know Bunting's plus money.
Chabot on Bet99, I've got it at minus 103, so still pretty close to that.
I also have I don't know if you want it, but I have one.
Okay, what is your thought process on a shots one?
I like let me just check one thing. Yeah, okay. I like it. Darnell Nurse over 2.5 shots. This wasn't pitched today at all, but if you look at his shots on goal last 10 or last, he's cleared in 9 straight.
At minus 141?
Yeah, that's a good parlay piece.
Okay. No, I do like that. Just clarifying. Okay, so plus 560.
Yeah, cleared 9 straight, and the Avs allow the 6 most shots to defensemen. Defensemen.
Okay, so that's a good 3-teamer at plus 560.
Yep.
Now we got to come up with a 3-teamer of regular plays. Now, I gave St. Louis in reg. OPM gave us just money line. Now the money line's minus 165. So if we're parlaying it with a potential other play, what was the play that you had again? You had.
Well, I have 2 that I really like. My favorite play of the day is Leafs 3-way, but what I played today was the over in the Kings and the Vegas game.
I do like the over there.
Okay, let's rock with that then.
Which I think if we stay consistent with that too, we also had the Eichel goal. So realistically, if they're going over, then we're assuming that he's scoring in that game as well.
Yeah.
So I like that one. Okay, so we have the Vegas over. Do we want to play St. Louis in regulation or do we want to play money line? Money line's down to minus 157.
I kind of like being safer with the money line, to be honest.
Okay, so then we go money line on that game. Do we just go Kraken money line since it's plus 105 in case we don't get the puck line?
Yeah, we can do that. So we got to include DeCucci's pick too.
What does DeCucci have again? He has
Oilers money line.
I like Oilers money line as well. So that could be a 4-teamer of Kings and Vegas over, Oilers money line, Kraken money line, and Blues money line.
I like it.
Plus 1,000.
Woo-hoo!
I think we cooked it up. So
I think so too.
So to recap, 4-teamer, Kings and Golden Knights over 6, Kraken money line, Oilers money line, Blues money line. For goal scorers, we got Eichel and Draisaitl together at plus 516. And at shots, we got Chabot over 2.5, Nurse over 2.5, and Bunting over 2.5 for a plus 560.
Damn.
I like it. All right, so we're going to post all those plays over on our social media accounts for you guys. Really appreciate everyone who hopped in. Go and follow all of those phenomenal cappers as well that hopped on the show. This is what this show is ultimately about. You know, we got me and Spittin giving some plays as well, but we want to start highlighting some of the phenomenal cappers in the Twitter space when it comes to hockey. Help them grow, helps us grow as well. And really appreciate everyone who tuned in. Whatever book it is you use, I use Bet99. I'm sure everyone else shops the market, whether it's Bet365, Sports Interact, whatever it is. We appreciate you hopping on. Spittin', anything else you got for us?
Just want to thank everybody for coming on again. Thanks, Ken, for hosting everything, and I can't wait for next week. Let's cash these tickets. Go tail the hat tricklets. Go check my Twitter. Tail it. It's fucking hitting, okay?
As he said, it's fucking hitting. So appreciate everyone who hopped on. A quick reminder before we go that Boston
I thought you were this worldly sophisticated guy, but you're just a fraud.
They're just frauds. We hate Boston, and we'll see you guys next Saturday. We'll see you guys next Saturday for the Spittin' Hedge betting talk.